Gotcha. Welcome to the European Soccer Show. With me, as ever, is the delectable Leo. Leo, how are you?
Hey Daniel, how are you? I'm great.
Oh, I'm pretty good, thank you. What was your favourite moment of the week in football? Was it by any chance Lyon?
By any chance? Maybe.
That's got such coincidence because my favorite bit of the week was when I stopped watching my team. Okay, so for everybody joining us, make sure if you're on the live stream, feel free to leave a comment. We may well read it out. We may well answer anything. It may well become quite a key point of the show, which has happened before. But yes, we'll kick things off as we often do with the Premier League. And my goodness, this was a juicy, rich, deep burger of a Premier League. Oh no, I was meant to do the headlines. The headlines of each league. Well, the headline in the English Premier League, that juicy burger, the main patty, that was Manchester City and Arsenal. And suddenly the title is no longer in Arsenal's control as Manchester City defeated them to narrow the gap to just 3 points. In Spain, there was no football apart from one match, but we'll come to that. In Italy, well, the small hint of a title race is over once again, but the chase for those European places is really getting quite spicy. Speaking of spicy, in Germany, does that work? No. But talk about title challenges. Well, the title is officially over in Germany as Bayern secure their 35th Bundesliga title and their 13th in 14 years. And over in France, as one title race ends, another begins again as Paris Saint-Germain lose at home to the mighty Lyon that Leo was watching and is so overjoyed with. And elsewhere, Lens winning to narrow the gap to just 1 point. If only the game between those two wasn't postponed. Ooh, damn you, French FA. Anyway, yes,
Yeah.
we will go now back to England. And of course, the big headline news was Manchester City 2, Arsenal 1. Ironically, let's talk about Arsenal because ironically, this was their best performance in 6 weeks. I mean, like they may have lost, but they probably didn't deserve to lose, did they?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. From a neutral perspective, it's obviously a good news to see Manchester City closing the gap with Arsenal because of the fact that we want drama. But if you just
Rich.
yeah, of course. But if you just pay attention to the game, a draw would have been more deserved for Arsenal because I do believe that if Manchester City were better in possession, Arsenal were when they didn't get the ball, and because of all their chances, I think it was two hit in the on the post.
Yes, of course.
One
Yes.
one Donnarumma's superb save. They had the clearest chances, Arsenal.
Yeah,
And
we should probably
they
say
could
as
have.
well, like the first two goals were quite unusual, weren't they? First of all, Ryan Cherky, wonderful goal, but not
Yeah.
necessarily the best goal of the weekend. More on that later. But like a wonderful world-class goal, and then Arsenal's equaliser came through a goalkeeping error. So actually, two sort of things that you can't really plan for or prepare for. It's just one of the sort of thing that you get in elite football, where
Yeah.
an elite level goal and elite players forcing a mistake from a goalkeeper. So it wasn't as if it was like the tactical battle; it was moments, right?
Yeah, it was because I think they. I don't know if it was the case for you, but we felt the tension because, of course, if Manchester City were to lose this one, they would have been drawn out of the title race.
Mm.
In case Arsenal won this one, it would have been or over, if we can say. But Ryan Cherky, we can see it only by his goal. He seemed to be one of the few players who didn't seem to really care about pressure and everything. He just played football and
Mm.
paid off for him.
Yeah, well, and we should say as well, like it was. I'll be honest, it was slightly better than I was expecting. Like again, considering Arsenal in recent weeks, but so reasons to be cheerful for Arsenal, but it doesn't really help them considering they've lost control of. If both teams win every single match between now and the end of the season, it comes down to goal difference, and currently it's in Manchester City's favour.
Yeah. So it will be, and Manchester will play against Burnley tomorrow or tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, tomorrow. So
could have some top. So yeah, if any victory for them tomorrow night, and we have a new leader at the top of the Premier League. Okay, let's look elsewhere then. So back down at the bottom of the table, Spurs. Oh, Tottenham Hotspur were moments away from getting their first victory of 2026, only for their hearts to be broken by a late equaliser in the 5th minute stoppage time. They had taken the lead in the first half through Pedro Porro, and we had to say, much better performance from Tottenham Hotspur, much better pressing. The crowd were fantastic, but a couple of moments sort of undid them. If you were a Spurs supporter right now, would you be optimistic, or would it just be, oh no, not again?
I would be oh no, not again. Obviously. No, but if we are being honest, it's really difficult to find any real cause for hope for Tottenham, because even when you think they are going to win, they are better, they are showing progress in the way they play. There is always something that's
they're so fragile. Is the thing, isn't it?
Always,
but we should say as well, like we just mentioned, moments between Manchester City and Arsenal. This was also a match, kind of moments, right? Spurs were not dominant, but they had strong periods of possession, particularly in the first half. Brighton took control early in the second half, and then Spurs, wrestled it back. But say the first Spurs goal was made from Xavi Simons after some good pressing in the Brighton half. But Brighton's equaliser, oh my goodness! For those who didn't see it, it was Matoma, a left-footed volley from a tight angle, just like the sweetest connection. Oh my goodness! And then the second half, Xavi Simons thought he won it with about 10 minutes to go, only for Spurs again to lose it in like the dying moments. Like I say, do you think is an impossible question, really? This, do you think, considering this squad and the mentality they have currently, do you think this performance will actually encourage them and give them some momentum, or, as we said before, is that late minute equaliser the sort of thing that actually weighs even heavier?
I think if you take a look at the squad, they got what it takes to easily obtain their stay in the Premier League. But as I said, everything is going wrong for them. Even if you take a look at their injury problems this season, it's the final days of the season. They have lost Romero for the rest of the season. They have played without Kulusevski for the entire the whole season. They've played without Mohamed Kudus for half of the season.
James Maddison as well. A lot of their creative players.
Maddison too. They had really big problems in terms of squad, and it seems difficult for them today.
Let's play a little game. So we'll talk about the relegation candidates. Leeds United defeated Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-0. Another fantastic goal, an overhead kick from defender James Justin, and another also goals for Okafor and Dominic Calvert-Lewin from the penalty spots. So Leeds won 3-0, which actually did condemn Wolves. They are now officially relegated, which we all thought for a while. Nottingham Forest defeated Burnley 4-1. Morgan Gibbs-White's first ever career hat-trick. And then on Monday night, dismal affair between Crystal Palace and West Ham finished 0-0. So with Leeds picking up 3 points, Forest picking up 3 points, and West Ham picking up a point like Spurs, we now have there are now 8 points between Spurs and Leeds. So my question is this. Okay, so Leeds United are currently 15th on 39 points, 8 points clear of Spurs. 5 matches left. Can Spurs catch Leeds?
No, I think the relegation battle is between Forest, West Ham, and Tottenham Hotspur.
Well, this is what I was going to come to. So 3 points further behind Leeds are Nottingham Forest. And Forest are currently 5 matches unbeaten in the league, not including the victories in Europe as well. 5 points ahead of Spurs and with a much better form. Can Spurs catch Forest?
I think they can.
Yeah.
Because for one reason, because of the next Forest's fixtures. They will. I took a look when preparing this broadcast. They will face Sunderland. They will face twice as Aston Villa in the Europa League because they are in the semi-final.
Of course.
They will play Chelsea. They will play Newcastle, Manchester United, and Bournemouth. So it's only top.
That is a hard run-in,
table. Yeah, it will be very hard for them. And I didn't look at the. Let me take a look at the fixtures to come to for Tottenham. Tottenham, they will play Wolves, who are already relegated. They will play Everton.
Can we pause there a sec? So, I had heard basically talk of this is the game that Spurs will win. Finally, they'll win a game in 2026.
Yeah.
But I suppose it comes down to if they don't beat Wolves, they don't deserve to stay up, do they?
Yeah, I totally agree. But for example, Arsenal didn't beat Wolves in February.
They beat them once in the 2 matches. Yeah. It was like a last minute thing.
Do they deserve to win the title? This is the kind of same question.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so who else are Spurs playing?
They will play Chelsea.
I know they play West Ham at some point. That'll be exciting.
No, they don't.
No? Oh, sorry, Leeds. They play Leeds.
Yeah, they play Leeds. They play Aston Villa, Chelsea, and Everton.
See, they're difficult as well. Everton are chasing through it themselves. Here's the thing. So I seem to remember looking at fixtures for Forest, for West Ham, for Spurs, for Leeds. No one has it easy. And also, you do have a couple of games where they are playing each other. Especially, I think Leeds go to West Ham on the last day of the season. Realistically, as you describe, Leeds will probably be safe by then. So therefore, it's surely that's a good opportunity for West Ham to play a team that's already sort of done it, finished.
Yeah.
Although they might be preparing for an FA Cup final. Who knows?
But yeah, that's right. For Leeds, it could be a very good season if they are to own their stay in the Premier League and go to the FA Cup final, maybe winning it. It would be a very, very good season for Leeds.
Okay, last question before we go away from the relegation fight. Forest are 5 points ahead of Spurs. How many games do Forest need to win to be safe, in your opinion? Is it just 1?
No, 2. I think they.
Well, the reason I ask this is because if Forest win 1 match, they will be 8 points clear of Spurs currently. Now, obviously, Spurs will have a game in hand, but that is still 8 points Spurs need to earn that they haven't earned, in a long time.
Yeah.
So the question is so if it's one win gets you 8 points clear of this position currently, do you just need 1 victory?
I think they would need 1 victory and 1 or 2 draws. Maybe not 2 victories.
So we're now in a position with 5 games left, 2 wins, and you're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does.
It seems.
It is mad to think that Spurs need to win 3 matches just to catch Leeds. So Leeds with practice. Anyway, we need to move on. The last things to talk about is the insane chase for European spots. But speaking of one miserable London club, go to another. So Chelsea lost at home 1-0 to Manchester United. Matheus Cunha getting the only goal. And with other results elsewhere, so Liverpool won the first Merseyside derby at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. They won 2-1, a goal from Virgil van Dijk in the 10th minute of stoppage time. Wow. But those results mean that between 5th place Liverpool and 6th place Chelsea is now 7 points. So using the same logic as with relegation, it doesn't seem like Chelsea are going to be able to catch Liverpool. And with that, does that mean the Champions League spaces have now been decided?
First, I think Manchester United and Aston Villa, it would take a cataclysm for them to not to qualify for the Champions League. They are 10 points ahead of Chelsea. It's obviously a big gap. And Liverpool, I don't know. Let me just take a look at Liverpool's coming fixtures. They will play Crystal Palace. They will play Chelsea. So it will be
So
the
maybe it's one
decider.
of those where if Chelsea win that, that's the Chelsea have to win that, otherwise
Yeah.
they can't. Yeah. We should also point. The reason I bring this up is because Chelsea have now lost 4 league matches in a row, and in
Yeah.
fact, in the last 10 matches in all competitions, they've only won 3 matches. One was against Wrexham of the Championship. One was against Port Vale of League One, both in the FA Cup. So that means that's 1 league victory. The last 1 victory in the last 10 matches against a decent opposition. So like it's such awful form.
Yeah, awful form and awful season for Chelsea. Especially at home. I think they are they are 13th in the league, only playing at home. They are above Leeds. They are Newcastle, Bournemouth, Fulham. From the difference between what we could expect from them and the reality of the season is it's a shame. Let's call it a shame of all the investments they put it last summer, and for now years, because it's not only last summer. They changed manager, but it doesn't seem to really work.
In fact, it's made things worse.
Yeah. It was starting well with Rosenior. I don't know, they won 5-6 games maybe in a row, or maybe 5 and a draw. But now they are 5 games, 5. Yeah, it's been only 1 victory in their last 7.
There is a caveat to say in the last 10 matches they've played some excellent opposition. They played Paris Saint-Germain twice, Arsenal, Man City, Man United.
Yeah.
So these are top teams. But that kind of is the point. Like you could only beat the teams that are in the lower.
Yeah, because they should be a top team in the Premier League.
But this run of form has meant that with 5 games left, there are now only, astonishingly, so Newcastle United lost at home against Bournemouth 2-1. Not going to talk about that. But Newcastle are now in 14th place, and they are still 6 points behind 6th place. So even at this stage, if you can manage to squeeze 3 wins in a row, you are back in contention.
Yeah.
So Chelsea are on 48, Brentford 48, Bournemouth 48, Brighton 47, Everton 47, Sunderland 46, Fulham 45. So all of these clubs with 5 matches left, if any of them get any good form, they could still, and Chelsea can drop out of Europe entirely.
Yeah. Look at Brentford. They have drawn for 5 games in a row now. Imagine just having recorded 2 wins in this period. They could fight with Liverpool for the Champions League, for example. So yeah, it's really it will really be a tough battle till the end.
Oh, yes, like you said before, drama. We love it. Okay, we are going to depart England and go over to Italy and Serie A. And the first thing we should probably talk about is the state of play for the Champions League, because obviously Juventus, Como, Roma all chasing that 4th Champions League spot. Real shock results. So Friday night saw the teams going into the Coppa Italia semi-final play first. So Inter hosted Cagliari, and they won 3-0. Goals from Marcus Thuram, Barella, and Zielinski. But Como went to Sassuolo and lost 2-1. And then on Sunday, Juventus defeated Bologna 2-0, which means that Juventus are now 5 points clear of Como. From 4th to 5th place. Como, no wins in 3. It feels like they've come a bit undone. Como undone.
Yeah, they are dropping points at the worst possible time of the season. But against Sassuolo, it wasn't undeserved, because Sassuolo played a great game. Cesc Fabregas said it after the game. Now, for them, the Champions League is slipping away. But if you look at their schedule, it looks fairly manageable. To be honest, they will play against Verona. I think they will play against weaker opposition. They will play Parma, Cremonese, so teams fighting for to stay up. So Champions League football is slipping away, but it's not already off for them.
Yeah, probably. It might be one of those things like a blessing in disguise. Perhaps like we've loved the story of Como this season, but it does feel like this kind of highlights the fact that they do not have a squad for the Champions League. It does feel like if they did go into the Champions League, they would really struggle to compete on several fronts at the same time, which is perhaps like, say, a conference league run would not quite have the same intense effect on.
Yeah, but let's not forget that it's a young team still. Some players will depart Como this summer. I can only think about Nico Paz, for example, who is set to go to Real Madrid or somewhere else. But they will need to keep structuring their team, and let's see also what is going to be for Cesc Fabregas, because are we sure he will stay at Como and keep working with them?
Yeah, it's a good question. By the way, I'm sorry to do this. I had lost the opportunity to sign off on the Premier League. I forgot to say the last two results, if you don't mind me going back. We didn't even mention the game of the weekend, which was Aston Villa 4, Sunderland 3. So if people haven't seen the highlights for that, do. Very fun, wonderful result. And then the exact opposite of that was the first match of the weekend. Brentford 0, Fulham 0, which was so bad. And I have a beautiful stat for you, if you'd like it, which was, it was tweeted afterwards about the most successful dribbles by a player in the match. Do you want to guess who it was? You won't get it. Kevin Kelleher, the goalkeeper for Brentford, most successful dribbles with 1.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I'd just like emphasize that. Anyway, sorry, back to Italy. Sorry, that was a quick stopover back in London. Back we come over to Italy. So yes, but with that, and Juventus winning 2-0 at Bologna, Juventus now take control. And as well, Juventus's form is fantastic. 5 wins in 6. Like I say, the gap to Como and Roma, 5 points, with Roma drawing 1-1 against Atalanta at home. Not the worst result, but also does mean the gap to Champions League football is growing. It does feel like this is now Juventus's to lose, right? It seems like they've sort of ironed out the issues that were plaguing them a bit about 6 weeks ago. But now there's real power in how they attack.
Yeah. And they have been on a strong run since February now. They don't concede many goals, and I think they can even make a run to the podium. They are only 3 points behind the Milan and Napoli.
Yeah, you're right. They are 3 points behind Napoli in third, who lost at home to Lazio. And in doing so, strange record, Maurizio Sarri's Lazio become the first ever team to win 4 away matches in a row against Napoli. First ever.
Impressive,
yeah. Sorry, so 3 points behind Napoli and AC Milan, who won 1-0 at Hellas Verona. My God, that was bad. So 3 points separating second and fourth. So it does feel like now, again, 2 more wins, and it feels like the Champions League will have settled there as well. And that's not, of course, talking about the fact Inter are now 12 points ahead.
Yeah, but Inter, they are champion. They played without Lautaro Martinez because he was injured. I don't know if he will be there tonight for the semi-final against Como, but it was a good performance from Inter, and now they are on the verge of winning their 21st title in Serie A.
Well, a big opportunity for a domestic double, at least. Even if on the European front, Italian teams have struggled of late.
Yeah. I saw a stat for you. Chivu could be. He won the Scudetto with Inter as a player. He won the Scudetto with La Primavera, which is the youth team, as a manager, and he could be winning the Scudetto as Inter manager.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. That's nice. That's a nice one. Other results to tell you. Udinese lost at home to Parma, 1-0. Pisa lost at home, because of course they did, to Genoa, 2-1. So the last things to talk about are the relegation fight. On Sunday, Cremonese crept 1 point ahead of Lecce because they drew 0-0 against Torino. But then on Monday, Lecce clawed it back with a 1-1 draw against Fiorentina. So it very much is still down to goal difference. Both teams on 28 points. Also with that result, Fiorentina, it does feel like are now safe. They're 8 points clear of Cremonese and Lecce. So it does feel it's down to Lecce on 28, Cremonese on 28, and maybe Cagliari on 33, who have only picked up 1 win in the last 7.
I think it's only between Cremonese and Lecce.
I tried to make it dramatic.
Sorry, but they can't win. They can't win a game, even if it's a good. In terms of result, it's a good result for Lecce to draw with Fiorentina, especially because they have momentum. But yeah, it seems difficult for them to. It would mean they scratch 5 points to Cagliari, which would be a good achievement.
Could you quickly look up the fixtures for Cagliari? Because I have a feeling they're playing one of the two of them. Because that's so actually Cagliari's form is the worst in the league alongside Hellas Verona. Like that's how bad Cagliari have been in recent weeks. So I'm just sort of opening up the possibility that this is not unthinkable.
No, they will not play against Cremonese or Lecce. They will play against Atalanta, Bologna, Udinese, Torino, and AC Milan.
I mean, they could lose all of those.
Yeah, they could. But for example, a team like Udinese, they don't have anything to play left to play. Torino, both Torino and Bologna too. So.
Yeah, all right.
This end of the season.
So this is very much down to 2. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay, that's it for Serie A then. That was a short little stop off. So let's trot off to Bundesliga, and it's party time in Bavaria as Bayern have won the title. They won it through a 4-2 victory against Stuttgart. They actually went behind in this match before goals from Guerrero, Nicholas Jackson, Alphonse Davies, late goal from Harry Kane. I mean, so we've become so used to Bayern winning the title. As I said before, 13 of the last 14 have gone to them. This feels different, doesn't it? This isn't just a predictable kind of march to victory. This Bayern are ridiculously good. A record number of goals, potentially record number of points if they win the remaining matches. This is something special.
Yeah, this is because first they have broken the record for the most goals scored in the Bundesliga ever, and I think it's not something you have to normalize because what they do in the Bundesliga, they are doing it in the Champions League against the best teams in the world. Or at least in Europe. So, of course, it's something extraordinary. Especially since Vincent Kompany, when he arrived at Bayern Munich, he came after a relegation with Burnley. So there were questions about how we could deal with a big club, a club such as Bayern Munich, and they are just great, and they could finish with a Champions League trophy
and potentially a treble.
Yeah, a treble,
they're in
which
the
would be
Pokal semi-final. Well, it's also reassuring to know that if Vincent Kompany does replace Pep Guardiola in a couple of years, then Bayern can always just hire Scott Parker. Yes. Okay, so one of the reasons Bayern won this weekend is because Dortmund lost. In fact, really impressive result. Hoffenheim 2, Borussia Dortmund 1. Hoffenheim finding a bitter fight to try and stay in that Champions League battle, while at the same time Bayer Leverkusen lost at home against Augsburg 2-1. Augsburg winning it in the getting a penalty in the 7th minute of stoppage time to steal it there. Which means that Hoffenheim are now 2 points ahead of Bayer Leverkusen in 5th place, which may or may not be an extra Champions League spot, but also now only 2 points behind Stuttgart. It does feel now, with RB Leipzig's form so good, they defeated Frankfurt 3-1 in Frankfurt. It does feel like it's between Stuttgart, Hoffenheim, and Bayer Leverkusen for the 4th and 5th spot, which again may or may not be. For you, who do you think is best prepared for the Champions League? Who do you think, first of all, deserves it, or who would you like most to see it? And who do you think will actually do best in the Champions League?
I think it will stay as it is for now because Hoffenheim, even if they pulled off a surprise win against Dortmund, I don't think anyone really expected them to beat Dortmund, except of course Hoffenheim fans. But Stuttgart, they have the experience of this end of the season. They have played in the Champions League last season. They know what it takes to do so. Leverkusen, they are 4 points behind Champions League spot, and Hoffenheim, it the lack of experience and their recent results with the draws and defeats, it could cost them the place.
Well, you say that. So I did highlight the fact that in the last 6 games, Stuttgart have won 10 points, Hoffenheim have won 8, and Bayer Leverkusen have won 9. So it's actually still very, very similar, despite Hoffenheim's turn of results. I think the issue being for Hoffenheim, being that because it's such a physical style of play, having to play European matches as well as league matches, it does feel like it feels like they've run out of steam now. But imagine having an extra 8-10 matches on top of that. It does feel like maybe not the best suited for especially Champions League football.
Yeah, of course, because it's not a team, a club with financial, the biggest financial power in the Bundesliga. So it could be difficult. But what after that, whatever, you are playing Champions League football. It's
but much like Como in a way, wonderful that they're actually challenging for a European spot, and it is well deserved. There's no doubt about that. They've been fantastic this season, but it's just a question of can they sprint to the end as opposed to sort of stumble over the line like Arsenal are trying to do.
But I'm pretty sure if they qualify for only European football, because they will, it's already a good season for them.
You make a very good point. They are guaranteed European football, which is fantastic. Going towards the bottom of the table, a couple of very fun results. First of all, Union Berlin 1, Wolfsburg 2. Wolfsburg finally getting a victory. Somehow, this was Marie-Louise Etter's first game in charge of Union Berlin, and she saw her side register 5 times the amount of shots, 5 times the XG. I've actually got it here. They registered 2.5 XG to Wolfsburg 0.5, and yet Wolfsburg won 2-1. So for her personally, and Union Berlin, just one of those games, sadly. But Wolfsburg, how badly they needed this.
Oh, they really, and they didn't really deserve this win because Union Berlin played well, but the fact is that they took advantage of St. Pauli's draw, and the best thing to come is that.
Good point. On Friday, St. Pauli drew 1-1 against Köln. Yeah. So Köln are now 5 points clear. Remain 5 points clear of St. Pauli with only 4 matches left. But St. Pauli currently 2 points ahead of Wolfsburg and 5 points behind the next team. So it does feel now it's between St. Pauli and Wolfsburg to see who gets relegated and who is in the relegation playoff.
Yeah, and what will be interesting to watch is that St. Pauli and Wolfsburg will face each other on the final match day of the season.
I have that down. Damn you! I was about to stick that in.
I know.
So yes, you're absolutely right. Wolfsburg at St. Pauli on the last day of the season. And gosh, that's dramatic.
It could prove dramatic.
Well, hopefully there'll still be something to play for. We're also, if you're wondering, we haven't mentioned Werder Bremen yet because they defeated Hamburg 3-1 at home, which means that above St. Pauli are Werder Bremen, Hamburg, Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Köln, all of whom have 31 points. So if St. Pauli can get a couple of victories, maybe they can reel one of those teams in. But it doesn't quite feel like it, does it? It feels like St. Pauli, that momentum they developed at the start of the calendar year. It feels like now it's kind of evened out, and it might be too much of a stretch. At this point, it's just most important to stay above the other two.
Yeah, and they have so much trouble to score. It's impossible to win games. They have in 30 games this season, they have only scored 26 goals, so it's impossible to win games without scoring. So
you say that, but Serie A.
Yeah, of course.
Other results to tell you about. Freiburg defeated bottom of the table Heidenheim 2-1 to maintain their push for potential extra European spots. And Borussia Mönchengladbach drew 1-1 against Mainz. Mainz finding an 8th minute stoppage time equaliser through a penalty. Right, we shall park that there. And let's go over to Ligue 1, I think, rather than Spain, because Spain has just won the cup. So Ligue 1. And also drama. More drama. Fantastic drama. Well, just the second we thought it was over, they pulled it back in. Paris Saint-Germain losing to allow Lens to close the gap and maintain the title challenge. Paris Saint-Germain 1, Lyon 2. So first of all, wonderful result for Lyon, who now have 2 victories back-to-back, and it seems like they're sorting their stuff out. But also a return for Endrick, who came back into the starting lineup. Is he back in good graces now?
He scored at the Parc des Princes after 6 minutes, so I think, yeah, he is. To have a word about the game, first, it was really unexpected for Lyon to win this one, not only because it's at the Parc des Princes against the reigning European champions, but because of their form and the missing players, because once again, Tolisso was absent, Pavel Sulc too, Malik Fofana, Ernest Nuama. So they didn't really have some really offensive options. But Paulo Fonseca's side, they played a real good football. They played in the counter attacks when they needed it. Afonso Moreira and Endrick played really good the game. The midfield was also impressive. The defense held on. So, yeah, it was a really good victory for Lyon.
And Lens, on the other hand, were the first match of the weekend playing on Friday night. Ridiculous match. They actually were behind 2-0 at home to Toulouse. Toulouse scored in the 6th minute, the 13th minute, then had a man sent off in the 17th minute. The real first quarter of the game, very, very intense.
Yeah.
And it took Lens the best part of an hour to find some goals, but they equalised with about 20 minutes to go. Couldn't quite find a way through, and then found the winner in the first minute of stoppage time. And that, which means that Lens are now once again 1 point behind Paris Saint-Germain, who will face Nantes in the for their extra game in midweek.
Yeah.
It does all come down to the game they were meant to play. Was it 2 weeks ago they were meant to play head-to-head?
Between Liverpool
Paris Saint-Germain. And it seems like one of those things like, what? Had they let that happen, something truly brilliant could be happening here. But now it's sort of manipulated. It feels. I don't know. I feel slightly cheated, and I'm not even French.
Yeah, we didn't want this game to be postponed, of course, because of the equity of the league. Against Toulouse on the 13th minute, when Toulouse made it 2-0, it looked like Ligue 1 was all over because everyone expected PSG to beat Lyon on the Sunday evening. And I think if Lens lost this one, Paris, maybe in their subconscious, they could have played one of a better football against Lyon to be assured of winning this one.
Maybe.
So it changed everything. And the race is still on, even if it will obviously prove difficult for Lens to being crowned Ligue 1 title.
Yeah, you do wonder if the league are going to allow Paris Saint-Germain to postpone the match between the Bayern Munich games for the semi-final.
Yeah.
Elsewhere, let's talk about the Champions League, because Lyon's victory against Paris Saint-Germain lifted them back into the Champions League places. They're now third. Reason being that, first of all, Lille could only draw against Nice 0-0 at home, or again, another bad one, only 3 shots on target combined. Whereas Marseille, where are they gone? Marseille went to Lorient and lost 2-0.
Yeah.
Marseille are really struggling at the worst time. That's 3 losses in the last 4 games. They have no other competitions to focus on, and yet they look like they're losing cohesion. Looks like the tactical identity seems to be not particularly strong.
There is none.
What do you think the biggest reason is behind their slump?
Because when they fired De Zerbi, replacing him by Habib Bey, who went in a very bad form with Rennes, and this change had no impact on the team. There is no sign of improvement on the field. It's, as you said, another disappointing result. They are living a terrible season, being knocked out of the Champions League, of the French Cup, now 6 in Ligue 1. Yeah, it's really bad season. Of course, the players seem to have resigned on the pitch, so they have an easy calendar, a quite easy calendar. But
so to jump in, but also rather than the other teams they're competing against for Champions League football, Marseille are a team that kind of have to have Champions League football. The others, sorry, maybe not Lyon, but Lille, Rennes, Monaco, these are teams that don't have to have Champions League football every single year. They don't quite have the same level of expectation, whereas Monaco and their fan base do. This would be quite not an entire failure, but a real drop-off, considering they were in the title race, considering how many goals they were scoring, and it seems to all fallen apart in the last 5-6 weeks, basically since De Zerbi left.
Yeah, and because of the squad, they spent a lot of money. They bring some good players. Some good players didn't live up to the expectation. For example, Benjamin Pavard has been terrible since this season. Some of these players who should pull Marseille up, they failed to do so, and it's a shame for them too.
Well, whilst Habib Bey is having a terrible time at Monaco, his old club Rennes are on an absolute tear.
Since he left.
That's three. Now, this particular run, they've won 3 matches in a row and are up to 5th place. So you've got Lyon in 3rd, 54, Lille on 54. They have they drew their last match, but they had won 4 and a bounce. So, undefeated in 5, good form. 1 point behind those two is Rennes on 53. 1 point behind them is Marseille on 52, and then Monaco on 50. They could only draw at home against Auxerre. Auxerre were winning 2-0 in that game before Monaco drew it back. Who do you think, in your opinion, is actually going to do this? So obviously 3rd place will be Champions League, 4th will be a Champions League playoff spot. All right, let's do it this way. Who do you think is going to miss out? Because 3 of those teams of the 5 will miss out on Champions League football. Who do you think it is?
I think Lyon will miss Champions League football. They have a tough schedule. They will face Lens, they will face Rennes. Difficult games. I think Lille will make it.
You have to say, I would say personally, regarding momentum and form, you'd probably say Lille and Rennes, wouldn't you? Which would be brilliant lineup.
The match between Lyon and Rennes will be a decider for the season. But Marseille also, if Marseille can win their games, because
it's a big if currently.
Yeah, but they have an easier schedule than their competitors. So if they can live up to what they should, they will qualify for the Champions League too.
Well, we didn't say Rennes' result. They actually went to Strasbourg and won 3-0, hence their latest victory. Can we have a quick word on Strasbourg before we depart Ligue 1? Because Strasbourg, I have actually written down the European results in midweek from last week. Because obviously now we have the semi-finals of all the competitions. Strasbourg managed to turn around a 2-0 deficit to defeat Mainz 4-2. So Strasbourg are in the semi-final of the conference, and they will face Crystal Palace. So Strasbourg, they're in the semi-final of the Coupe de France, and they will face Nice in midweek. They're in the semi-final of the Conference League. Is Gary O'Neill getting enough credit for this? Because obviously, when he came in, the fact that Liam Rosenior was stolen by Chelsea, and Blueco, and obviously made Strasbourg fans furious. But actually, the job that Gary O'Neill's done since coming in is basically to continue the good work, hasn't it? So, is he getting enough credit in this, or do you think this is standard? Do you think, or how good has this season been for Strasbourg, being this deep in two separate competitions?
Yeah, they are having a very good season. Now they have clearly given up on the league to focus on the Coupe de France and the Conference League because they could have a double at the end of the season. Against Rennes, they fielded a young team, and it was not surprising that they lost currently. So now they have the chance of winning a cup, two cups. So it would be historical for Strasbourg if they are to win a European Cup, and for France because.
Absolutely, but then, so like I say, what's the vibe in France regarding Gary O'Neill? Because obviously, when he was hired, it was a little bit underwhelming, as his appointments often have been, even in England. But he seems to have done a pretty good job, no?
Yeah, he has. He has been doing a good job at Strasbourg. Now he will have to play without Panicelli, who has suffered an ACL injury. But
right.
to be honest, he also have in his squad some good players. If we take the example of Julio Enciso, who has experience of the Premier League, Valentin Barco, he has a lot of good players, Premier League players, because a lot of loanee from Chelsea or English football. So I wouldn't say they know what he asks them, but I think the football he tries to implement at Strasbourg with this kind of players, it helps to have results.
Fair enough. Okay, the other results to look at: Angers drew 1-1 against Le Havre. Metz lost at home 3-1 to Paris FC. And the other match to note was Nantes drew against. Oh, sorry, not Nantes drew with Brest 1-1. But Auxerre, their draw at Monaco means that they are still 4 points behind Nice. I'm trying to make up some kind of like a relegation battle. 4 points behind Nice, but I did see that Auxerre are hosting Nice on the penultimate weekend of the season. So maybe pull Nice. Nice have been so bad.
Yeah,
and yet they're in the Coupe de France semi-final. Right, let's say adieu. Au revoir, France, and we are going to go to Spain. It's only one match to cover, and it was the final of the Copa del Rey, Atletico Madrid against Real Sociedad. And I'll tell you the result in case you probably already know. The final score was 2-2, and it went to penalties, and Real Sociedad came out the victors. So a wonderful result for Sociedad. But also, what a fantastic turnaround of their season. They've had 3 separate managers. They were relegation candidates until about 3 months ago. And yet now they're on, I was about to say on the verge of Europe, that they are in Europe because of this victory. But a trophy win, which is fantastic. It shows real credit to the attitude of the players that they've been able to turn this season around to such an extreme.
Yeah, it's it's only their 4th Copa del Rey victory in history.
We should also say their last one was in 2020, which isn't so long ago, but of course was COVID, so they had no fans there to celebrate it.
Yeah.
So what a wonderful opportunity for them to celebrate this one.
Yeah, Pellegrino Matarazzo has been doing a tremendous job with at Real Sociedad since he joined. Winning a trophy is never something easy, so great thing. But for Atletico Madrid, it's once again disappointing because
they were really underwhelming, weren't they? It almost felt like they hadn't shown up. They didn't turn up. It's like the intensity they showed in the Champions League would drained it entirely out of them.
Now they are on the brink of registering of ending another season without a trophy, despite the significant financial investment they did. It's also tough for Antoine Griezmann, who has never won a major domestic trophy with Atletico. He had the chance, but it was
Sorry to jump in, but speaking of winning significant trophy, what's the manager's name? Pellegrino Matarazzo.
Yeah.
He becomes the first US-born manager ever to win a title in the top 5 European leagues.
Bravo.
Yeah, bravo. Yeah. First US-born ever to do that. That's kind of amazing, actually, now I think about it.
Yeah, it is.
So, yes, as wonderful it is that Real Sociedad, underwhelming and disappointing for Atletico, Sociedad actually took the lead in the first minute from, I can never say this guy's name, Barrenetxea. In the first minute before Ademola Lookman equalised for Atletico, who's been a wonderful signing for them since joining in January. Then Oyarzabal gave Sociedad the lead again in the first minute of stoppage time through a penalty before Julian Alvarez equalised, forced extra time. And in the penalty shootout, it kind of sets the tone, doesn't it? Because Atletico missed their first 2 kicks, and it was Sorloth and Julian Alvarez.
So
the big names, the big players, and actually they didn't take their moment. That kind of summed up their entire performance, didn't it?
Yeah, but Julian Alvarez scored a screamer during the game, the equalizer But the good story was that Unai Marrero, so Real Sociedad's goalkeeper, he only has played about 20.
We should say, they're both the reserve keepers, aren't they? They're both the backup goalkeepers.
Yeah. So it was a good story, but Real Sociedad really deserved this win.
Absolutely, good for them. Congratulations, Real Sociedad fans, partying in the streets of is it Santander, Real San Sebastian?
San Sebastian.
Yeah. Well, what a place that is. Well, yeah, massive congratulations. Speaking of cup competitions, things to watch out for in midweek. As we said before, in Italy, it's the semi-finals of the Coppa Italia. In Germany, it's the semi-finals of the Pokal. In France, it's the semi-finals of the Coupe de France. So, yeah, lots of knockout domestic cup competitions this week. We should finish the roundup of the leagues there, I think. What the 3 things we may have missed? What might we have missed from you, Leo?
Oh, I have only one this week. Is that Lionel Messi? He has acquired the Spanish club UE Cornellà, who are playing in the 3rd division in Spain. So it's something big because he already owns parts in a lot of clubs, including Inter Miami, where he's playing. He also is the shareholder with Luis Suarez of a club in Uruguay, if I'm not mistaken. So,
well, let's just hope he remembers to pay his tax this time.
Yeah, but it's it's interesting to see him invest in some clubs. What do you got for us?
A couple of things, something from the Championship, the Secretariat of English Football. Coventry are promoted. Frank Lampard's Coventry drew 1-1 at Blackburn Rovers, and it's their first time in the Premier League in 25 years. What a brilliant job Frank Lampard's done at Coventry City. And I think a lot of people had written him off after his recent experiences with Everton and his most recent stint in charge of Chelsea. So, yeah, all credit to him. But flip that to the bottom parts of the Championship. Leicester City are now almost certainly going to get relegated. This is 10 years on from them winning the league. Only, 7 years ago from winning the FA Cup. No, it's not. It's 5 years since winning the FA Cup.
Playing League quarterfinals too.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to suffer back-to-back relegations. Yeah, worrying times for Leicester City there. Elsewhere, something to tell you about Scoopy Watch, if you're interested. Well, this week, sadly, Scoopy were poopy. They lost at home to the league leaders 7-0. So no first victory of the season for them this week, but I'll keep an eye on it. And finally, just one match to tell you about in the women's internationals that were played recently. It was a rematch of the European final and the World Cup final. So England and Spain have been drawn in the same group, and only one can qualify automatically. And England defeated Spain 1-0 in England. So England take control of the qualifying group. That's the last thing to say about there. Right. Trivial trivia. Do you have anything for me?
No, I let you this. It's your.
Oh, I've got a good one. It's a hard one, but it's a good one.
Okay.
Okay, so here's your question. I want you to name me the top goal-scoring Englishman, Frenchman, Spaniard, Italian, and German in each of those 5 leagues. So in England, who's the top-scoring English player? In France, who's this? We'll start with Italy. Actually, no, it's the hardest one. In France, who is the top goal-scoring Frenchman?
Joaquin Panicelli with 16 goals, no?
Who, sorry?
Joaquin Panicelli.
No, not
in Ligue 1 or in French?
No, Ligue 1.
Oh.
Panicelli is no longer the top goal scorer.
Oh, Esteban Le Paul from Rennes.
It's Le Paul, yes.
Well I forgot about him. Yes,
the Rennes striker. Yes, he's got 17 goals in 30 appearances. Okay, that's France. In Spain, who's the top goal-scoring Spaniard in La Liga?
Kylian Mbappe with 23 goals.
Is he Spanish?
Oh, a Spanish player in La Liga? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This is now you get the game.
Okay. This is a difficult.
Actually, this is one of the easier ones.
Okay, easy ones. Ferran Torres.
Oh, he's close. He's just underneath this player. His compatriot, his teammate. Of course, he's a compatriot, Spanish.
Yeah. A teammate of Ferran Torres at Barcelona.
Yeah.
Fermin Lopez.
No. Who's the
Lamine Yamal.
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah,
he's got 15 goals and 11 assists in 27 matches. That's disgusting. In Germany, this might be a trickier one. I've also written down clues if you need clues. So in Germany, who's the top goal-scoring German? It is a striker.
Yeah. Where is he? Is he playing in the top team or top team? I guess.
Well, actually, I'll tell you what. I'll give you clues about that later. But this is a team in 4th place.
Denis Undav.
It is Denis Undav. Yes, he's got 18 goals in 25. In Italy, this is going to be tricky because no one scores goals in Italy apart from Lautaro Martinez. Who's the top goal-scoring Italian in Italy? I'll give you a clue. They are not. Oh, they're just in the top half. 10th place.
Domenico Berardi.
That's an excellent guess. Teammate of his.
Oh.
The striker. Berardi is off the right usually, or as a 10.
Who is Sassuolo's striker?
It's Pinamonti. It's a tricky one. Yeah. Also, he's only got 8 goals in 31 matches, but he's the top goal-scoring Italian in Serie A, which kind of tells you about the state of Italian strikers currently. Now, this might be the trickiest one. In the Premier League, who is the top goal-scoring Englishman? Now, unlike the others, who are all strikers and forwards, this is not. This is a midfielder.
This is a good one.
I thought you'd like it. Also, he plays for a team in a relegation battle, which makes this achievement even more impressive.
Oh, wait. Isn't it a Leeds player?
It is not Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Or Leeds, any Leeds player.
Okay.
But he's a striker anyways. Yeah, not a striker or a forward.
Jarrod Bowen he's considered as a forward.
Excellent. No, yeah, he'd be a forward, but excellent guess. No, not him.
Oh.
We've only got like 50 seconds before the hour mark, so I might need to cut you off soon. Okay.
Okay, cut me off.
Okay, I'll tell you what. He got a hat trick this weekend.
Oh, okay. Morgan Gibbs-White.
Morgan Gibbs-White is the top goal-scoring Englishman. He's currently 5th on the top goal-scorer table for the Premier League. He's playing for a team in 16th place, and he's registered 12 goals from midfield, which is... And yet, he's not been in the England squad for Thomas Tuchel at all, which is mad. Like, he's fantastic, and he's having a wonderful anyway. But yes, that was the end of that game. I hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it.
And speaking of which, I hope everybody enjoyed all of this, because that's the end of our time together. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you send us comments and so on and so on. Follow us on the social medias. They're up there somewhere. Normally, I'm the one on top of the video. And
Yeah,
but
here.
He's got a bit of an ego this week because of Leon winning. So if you want to follow us on X, on YouTube, all of those things, make sure you do, so you can catch these live streams and videos once they are posted. Thank you so much for joining me, Leo.
Thank you, Daniel. Wish you a good evening. Thank you for everyone who have watched this show, and see you next week.
We will see you next week, where we will discuss all the finalists of the domestic cup competitions. We've got a whole midweek of La Liga to cover, as well as the weekend fixtures. Oh, it's going to be jam-packed. Until then, have a great week, everybody. See you then.
Goodbye.